So we got the pool all filled up by the end of the night last night. She's looking pretty dang good. We got some junk at the bottom, but honestly not too bad. We'll get that brushed up, get the pump on and running, get the chemicals in, and get the vacuum in, and pretty much ready to go. So first I use chlorine tabs, aka chemicals. I use 2, get those into the floater, and push them on their way. So here's our copper ionizer. I just brushed this one off. This is our bar from last year. It does need a new bar, but this one's still good enough to probably last at least half the summer, if not the whole summer. Now don't ask me exactly how these work, but I know that the solar panels on top do interact with the bar below and release some of the particles into the pool and make it so that you don't have to use as many chemicals. And yes, I know some of you are going to say, but copper can be toxic. And yeah, it can be at really high levels, but we do test our water and our limits are well within the safe limits, and it saves us a ton of money on chemicals. Next, we add in our most controversial item, the melamine sponges. These help soak up a bunch of the gunk that floats around, like sunscreen and whatnot. And a lot of you are going to cry, oh my god, the chemicals! As if I didn't just put a bunch of other chemicals into the pool. Then you're going to say, but the formaldehyde! But this is formaldehyde sodium melamine bisulfate, which is a different compound, just like sodium chloride is different than sodium and chlorine. If you don't want to use them yourself, you don't have to. This is what I like to use in my own pool. No, they don't break down and release a bunch of toxins and chemicals into the air. No, they don't break down and release a ton of microplastics into the pool. These are the ones we used last year. They sat in the pool the entire year, summer and winter, and they're still basically fully intact. And look at all the crap they soaked up. They're kind of green. And none of that green is in the pool. So I will continue to use them. You can use what you want to use. Then I plug in the pump and hope that it's not seized up from sitting all winter long. And hey-oh, what do you know? It worked. Water's flowing. Then we add, you guessed it, more chemicals to the pool. This time shock. Because we're just opening, we're going to add a couple of bags of shock slowly to the skimmer. Please note this video is sped up. I did it way more slowly than you see here. And this is where I fucked up. I did not read the bag and notice that one of the bags was a flocculant instead of just shock. You are not supposed to add flocculant to your skimmer. And because my water was not filled with algae, it just made the water cloudy. So that was great. Thankfully, I only added a tiny bit. I did backwash the filter a bunch, rinse it out, then added another bag of regular shock. But this is what our pool is looking like now. Then I brushed the bottom, get all of the stuff that was sitting at the bottom, stirred up into the water to go through the filtration process. And anything that did not go through filtration would sit back down at the bottom for the vacuum to eventually suck up. Then I grabbed a net and got all of the bugs and stuff off of the top. And it was time to hook up Victor Von Vacuum. We switch over our plumbing so it's no longer going to the return, but instead going to the vacuum. And then Victor gets to work cleaning the bottom of the pool too. After a day of that running, we clean out the vacuum, admire all the gunk it collected, backwash the filter, clean the piece of cloth inside and replace it, send Victor back to work to do it again. We test the water again, see what it needs. Then we add, you guessed it, even more chemicals, so we can try to get this cloudiness under control. And after about a week, we're finally back to clear water. Let's not add any unnecessary flocculant again.